comes down from two people, Jamison Savage. He has been fermenting and processing coffees on Deborah, as well as Savage Coffee, so he has a lot of experience getting the best out of these coffees from this mountain. Also, myself being able to travel all over the world, introduce, see and process, and collaborate with so many producers all over the world and bringing that knowledge back to the Irish estate. So this is where magic starts, when us two start talking about a coffee. This year we are lucky now that not only we're using knowledge from us two, but also knowledge from the Zurich University. Now they played a huge role in the Irish estate to help us to identify different aroma volatile compounds that are available for us in this green tea geisha. And throughout the processes, we've learned how we can highlight these specific aroma volatiles to give us more distinct flavor profiles. So we're gonna be combining science, Jamison knowledge and my knowledge to give us a full range of flavors from Irish estate. From geisha coffee particularly, we'll have these beautiful washed clean profiles where we are enhancing the jasmine notes. Also some of these wash cleaner profiles that we call illumination, where we're getting a little bit more body, a bit more texture, a bit more lactic acidity, which will make these coffees very approachable for the espressos, as well as these cleaner versions of the coffees that have these lighter notes but still a little bit of fruit, but maintaining this beautiful integrity of the coffee, such as Vivid, Aril. And then we'll have a range of the coffees where we are targeting these beautiful red fruits, rose florals and raspberries and cherries. They would range from Asymmetry to Enigma to Nirvana lots, and always few of the special lots. This year, for the first time, we are going to be releasing competition release coffees. So they will be the most special coffees out of each category, very small volumes, and we're going to be releasing them for competitions, and hopefully they can help our competitors all over the world to present themselves and the coffee in the best possible way. Two of my favorite profiles from Irish estate: Enigma, it's a carbonic maceration natural process, and Aril. Aril is carbonic maceration wash process coffee. Both of these coffees, what we've done is we placed them in a tank, set there for 5 to 7 days in the cherries. We sealed it, daily flushing, controlled temperature, and then after 5 to 7 days, for Enigma, we've taken the cherries on drying periods and we carefully dried them over 3 to 4 weeks. Aril, after 5 to 7 days, we've taken the coffee cherries, we pulped them, and we've dried them in the pulp, so just the parchment and some small amount of mucilage, and we dried that over 2 to 3 weeks in order to give us this nice clean taste. Now Enigma, why I love it, it has a beautiful raspberry candy note. It's super sweet, really reflects that Irish terroir in the best way, because the first time we've tasted a coffee from Irish terroir, it always had that distinct sweetness. And Enigma has amplified that sweetness, not just to make it sweet, but to make it candy sweet. Raspberry notes, florals, beautiful creamy lactic acidity. When it cools down, it feels like we are eating custard or panna cotta. Now, Aril really represents this green tip geisha. So when we talk about green tip geisha, we straight away are thinking jasmine, we're thinking florals, we're thinking elegance, refinement, clarity. That's everything that Aril really has. With added rose florals, with added little bit more creaminess, with bit more elegance, bit more refinement. We've extended the aftertaste of this coffee and added some of the lovely notes of a rose hip and raspberries as well. Super subtle, but it works really good for this coffee. So I'm so excited to actually share some of the work we have collaborating with Coffee Excellence Center in Switzerland with Professor Chahan and Desamo. So as you can see here, we've done aroma volatile compound count on the wash process coffee, carbonic maceration washed as well, which is Aril lot, and carbonic maceration natural, which is Enigma lot. So we've counted about 80 to 120 different aroma volatiles. Out of these 80 to 120, we've selected the main aroma volatiles would be, for this particular coffee, methyl ester, methyl propanol, methyl acetate. We also found another aroma volatile that gives us a lot of rose florals. We could not identify what aroma volatile that is. We believe it's beta demascenon, but for now it's still unknown. And throughout the different processing, we managed to increase these aroma volatiles and intensify them in some cases, comparing with the wash coffee 2 to 3 times more. So as an example, when we look at these rose florals, that we can see them on both coffees, especially on the Enigma, it's so obvious. We've increased this aroma volatile by 3 times. So when we're smelling Enigma, we will get a lot more rose florals than what we will in the Aril. metal ester. This is how we've identified that we can find this significant amount of raspberry candy notes. From the wash process to Ariel to Enigma, we have increased it several times. And when I mentioned that beautiful lactic, creamy, almost panna cotta acidity, panna cotta mouthfeel, well, this is where this comes from. It comes from this particular aroma volatile. When in the wash coffees we had a decent amount, but throughout the different processes we increased it a lot. So when you're tasting Ariel or Enigma, especially when the coffee cools down, you will notice it gets thicker and thicker and thicker. And that's due to this profile. And of course, candy-like sweetness, it's thankfully to this very last aroma volatile. So I'm excited about these two coffees, not only because they taste great, but more importantly, they represent Iris terroir. And only these flavors with these intensities we can find in this place because of what varietal gives us, what microclimate gives us, and what Iris coffee is all about. I'm also looking forward working with Jamison and the team to continue collaborating on this level with Han and Samo to see how we can find some other microlots with some other varietals that we have in Iris estate, and we can take this approach to bring new flavors and new exciting profiles to everyone. So how long it takes to produce coffee like this? Well, Iris estate, everything takes time. The moment when we planted the coffee seeds in 2017, it usually takes 2 to 3 weeks in the other environments, other farms, to pick your first cherries. In Iris estate, it took us 5 years. But at the farm, at the altitude of 1800 meters and also altitude of 2300 meters, which is our range, there's a lot of differences in this mountain range as well. At 1800 meters, the plants we planted in 2017, the trees look like this. They're very established. They're a little bit taller than myself. But when we climb up to 2000 meters, 2100 meters, these trees look like this. Because there's a lot of less oxygen, humidity is different, the pressure is different, as well as temperatures are a lot colder. And with the cold temperatures, coffee matures at a lot slower pace. But this is where magic happens, because this is at these slow maturation times, we have from the flowering to the ripening, it usually takes about 6 months. In Iris estate, it takes 8 to 9 months. Over there, we're picking coffees in January, February, March, April, May, even June. When most of the harvest in Panama, in Boquete and Volcan is harvested October, November, December and January. Now this extra time in the cherry maturation, it's giving us more flavors, more complexity, more sweetness in a cup. So that's the first step. Now, after a lot of patience, the moment when we are ready to pick these cherries, the next step is obviously fermentation. Lately, we have been looking for the ways and the techniques where we can have fully developed fermentation, but we try to shorten now the time as much as we can. So within our range, we don't really ferment coffee for 8, 9, 10, 15 days plus. So we try to keep it consistent with as short as possible because we really want to preserve that beautiful terroir and that varietal that we have been growing so patiently over so many years. Now the third part is drying. This is where we want to be patient again. In Iris estate, Jamison has his 3-level drying, where on the top we want to dry coffee a little bit faster to make sure we don't have a fungus, we don't have bacteria, we protect the cherries. And then afterwards we slow down the drying process for naturals 3 to 4 weeks. And for wash 2 to 3 weeks, depending on the weather. More importantly, coffees are turned several times a day, and during the night, fans are left on, so the humidity and the higher moisture is not really impacting the coffee in a negative way. And also, we also want to make sure that we can take some time when the coffee is in the storage. When we have these beautiful, natural, carbonic, natural processed coffees like Enigma, we don't really want to be taking that coffee out of the pots right away. Coffee needs to rest, sugars need to stabilize, everything needs to settle before we do hulling and then export it to your lovely warehouses and to your coffee shops.